Hi, this is Sydney Gaskins with My Enterprising Life, and I wanted to share this evening about something that is going on between my son and I, and it's not something that's personal or anything like that. But what it is, let me straighten this camera out. Let me see what I can do. Um, what it is let me show you this first. We started what I'm calling the Mockingbird Project. And I remember in 7th grade reading To Kill a Mockingbird. And I bought it by Harper Lee. I remember reading that in 7th grade, and my son is going into 7th grade. And we normally do some kind of reading when he's home during summer vacation, in between school being over and him going to my sister's for the summer. And this summer I was looking for some books. He likes those 39 Clues books or something like that. He really wanted those, and I am going to order them. But in between that, I really wanted to find something that we could read together and experience together and talk about. And I was at the store last week and was thinking, well, let me see what kind of books they have. And the only book that I saw was To Kill a Mockingbird that I thought was appropriate. Let me say that was To Kill a Mockingbird. And I wasn't sure whether or not it was a book I wanted him to read, because I couldn't read. I remember the movie and I remember the book, but I wasn't sure that it had content that I wanted to get into with him. But I was like, I read it in 7th grade, let's go. I looked up online some, I guess they're like curriculum and some ideas to use with children when you're reading To Kill a Mockingbird. And let me pull those up so I can actually tell you some of the things on there. So one of the things that they have on here is it came from the DeKalb, I think it's Decatur, not sure, library. And they actually did a whole city not reading contest, but they used To Kill a Mockingbird as a way to bring the community together to read something and to talk about some of the things that had happened in their community. And so what I pulled off was what they call setting the historical context. So we talked about that tonight, and this is like the first video. I'll do some other videos as we're reading the book. But it talks about the civil rights era and when Harper Lee wrote the book, what was going on at that time in Alabama with the civil rights movement. But most interesting was not just the facts about what was going on between 1954 and 1964, but I was also able to share with him why things were happening the way they were, and then bring it up to people that he knows. Like, my mom was born in 1945, so how old would she be in 1954, 1955, 1956? And his great aunt and great uncle, who are my mom's brother and sister, are younger than him, and one is younger than her, and older than her. So what does that, how old would they be at the time? And one of the interesting things that we talked about were the different things that happened during the different years. So we went through 1954, 1955, 1956, 1957, 1959 with Hawaii becoming a state, and what happened with Hawaii, like the story of how Hawaii became a state, because it said, Hawaii is admitted as a state, as if Hawaii asked to be a state. So what are some of the implications of that? What are some of the implications of the Little Rock Nine? 1960, when the first lunch counter sit-in happened, and then 1961 with James Meredith, 1962 with Cesar Chavez, and then 1963, the conversation got a little bit deeper about, hose being turned on, and to peaceful demonstrators, dogs being let go on peaceful demonstrators, Medgar Evers being killed. And then we did have a conversation about the Birmingham churches being bombed. The very next thing that came up was the 1964 and 1965 years. And I think most interesting was that I shared with him that I read, I believe it's Mississippi Burning, and saw the movie that depicted John Chaney, Mickey Schwerner, and let me get his name right, Andrew Goodman. And we talked about why they would go to Mississippi. What was so important for them to be there? And the fact that they were white and came to Mississippi also with James Chaney, who didn't live in the South. So why would they come down there and be interested in Mississippi? And then, 1965 being the Voting Rights Act, and discussing what were some of the things that minorities and blacks, and let me just say minorities in general, might have had to do to be able to vote. What were some of the barriers put up for them to be able to vote? And, talking about those type of things not only just gave us points of reference to discuss, but it also allowed me to see what he already knew and share some new things. I'm really interested in seeing what he picks up from this book, because it's been a while for me. I'm really interested in seeing what goes on with this book. Let me look this up too. Some of the other things that come on this journey that they have you talk about are the Scottsboro trials in 1931, and how the Scottsboro trials are similar to the trial in the book. So where did Harper Lee get some of her references for Tom Robinson's trial? And then there's discussion questions, of course, that go along with it, And then the big thing that we're going to do is, after we finish the book, of course, is watch the movie. So that'll be really interesting. But I'm really excited about doing this. We've read books together before, but they were never the type of books that you would look things up, that have historical significance per se. So I'm really interested in what's going to happen with this. The other thing is, as a parent, I think that the opportunity to have these type of conversations with our children is really great. And whenever you have it, take it. And not just whenever you have it. Let me say this. Make the time and take the time to create those type of opportunities with your children, because they are like sponges. My son shared a lot of things with me, some thoughts about what was going on at that time and how it makes him feel. And we can really connect with our children in such profound ways. Books, really, they do open up a lot of things. They are a window to a whole new world and new conversations with children. So I'd encourage you to grab a book, and read it with your children. This one is a big book. This is pretty, how do you do this? Pretty thick, but we'll be reading this, and I'll be sharing how we feel, kind of his revelations. You just might see him. Most people, I don't say my son's name a lot online because I think that's a private thing, but with his permission. If you know him, he's a ham, so being on camera won't be a problem for him by any means. He'll probably love it. But you might see him on camera sharing his thoughts about the book and giving, maybe even reading. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I really wanted to share what we were doing with this project and encourage you to read with your children. Pick up a book for the summer especially. And because there's so many vocabulary words in there, we will be doing vocabulary words. He knows me well enough. He'll have a notebook full of vocabulary words, and Mom loves dictionaries. So we have a dictionary here as well. But I just wanted to share that. I really am thankful that you watched this video and hope that you grab a book with your children, take the time to read it, and if it happens to be To Kill a Mockingbird, take on the Mockingbird Project. In a later video or at the end of this one, I may put in the website where we got the information for the project that we're doing, and I'm just taking different parts of it so you can kind of customize yours to your child. My son is 12, he's going into 7th grade, so I can customize it to the things that I think are appropriate to him or the things that I'd like him to know. So you can always pull off things off the web, but I will definitely put that up for you. So that's all I wanted to share. I do wish you the best. I hope you have a great day and take on some of the tips in this. Grab a book with your kids. And last but not least, as always, invent your success. Have a great day.